In this video, I want to talk about Miami and what it's actually like to live here. For those unaware, I'm a British expat living in Miami for almost 3 years now, and I've seen this city develop in ways that I could never possibly imagine. But what is it actually like to live down here in the Magic City? Well, the truth is that Miami is a city of contrasts. Some aspects about Miami may be amazing, whereas other aspects of Miami are actually quite terrifying, as I will explain in this video. The first thing I want to talk about in this video is rent. Miami is a very well-to-do city, and unless you're rich or a celebrity, you're gonna have to splash the cash in order to live here. And oh my, the prices for rent here are absolutely insane. If you want your own private space in Miami, then you're going to have to start saving, since even the cheapest places here, called an efficiency, which is basically a room with an adjacent bathroom, will cost you at least $800 a month, even in the worst areas of Miami. And that's not the only thing that's expensive in Miami. Everything is expensive in Miami. That's because the cost of living is extraordinarily high compared to the US average. It's not uncommon to spend $200 at the supermarket. Taxi rides are also insanely expensive. A taxi ride from Miami Beach to Dolphin Mall, a popular shopping centre and entertainment district in the west of Miami, will cost you at least minimum $30. Even just getting on a bus costs $2.25. And speaking of bus, number 3, public transportation. Public transportation in Miami is not exactly the best in the world. Granted, Miami does have its own metro system called Metrorail, which is somewhat efficient, but the buses over here aren't exactly the best. Network coverage is rather patchy and waiting times are quite long. Furthermore, walking and cycling in Miami can be quite a challenge, not only because of the heat over here, which I'll discuss later on, but also the fact that driving standards aren't exactly the best, and you might actually get into an accident. Realistically, in Miami, you're going to need to get a car, even if it's just to go to the supermarket and back. If you do decide to drive in Miami, just have some patience, as the driving etiquette in Miami isn't exactly the best in the world, but it's certainly manageable if you know how to drive in Miami. Another aspect about Miami is the weather, which in this case is more like a double-edged sword. Miami has a tropical climate, which means during the winter, the weather conditions here are actually pretty pleasant, sunny with highs of around 24-25 degrees Celsius and nighttime lows of around 15 degrees Celsius. But during the summer, the weather here isn't exactly the most pleasant. Summertime highs usually around 32-33 degrees Celsius, which might not seem so bad, but you couple it with extreme humidity and the feels like temperature can easily get into the 40s. And that's just on a normal summer's day. Sometimes here it can be really hot, like 35-36 degrees hot, which means the feels like temperature can get up into the upper 40s or possibly even the low 50s in humidity. And you cannot talk about the weather in Miami without talking about hurricanes. Hurricanes do happen in Miami, but as long as you prepare in advance for a hurricane, you should be okay. The only sort of disadvantage really is that you'll have no power for about 2 to 3 weeks. One of the main factors that makes Miami, Miami today in the modern world is its culture and identity. Miami is one of the few cities in the United States where Latin culture is extremely prevalent. In fact, according to the 2010 census, Miami-Dade County has a Hispanic/Latino population of 65%. What this means is that Miami's Latin culture can be seen across the entire city. Because of Miami's population, the main language spoken here is Spanish, not English, but you shouldn't be worried about mistranslation since a large proportion of Miami's population can speak English bilingually with Spanish. But for me to explain that, we'll need a whole video entirely. Because of Miami's population, the whole culture here has like a Latin flair, and that means parties here are insane, and what else is insane here is the food. Oh my gosh, the food here is to die for. Foods such as rice and beans and snacks like pastelitos, croquetas and empanadas. Oh my god, my mouth is watering. I'll probably make an entire video on this channel talking about the food in Miami, but we need to get on to the next point in this video. So, overall, what are my thoughts about living in Miami? To me, Miami is a dynamic city that's always changing and is always welcoming of new people from different cultures around the world, which is one of the reasons why I do like living in Miami so much. So that was my video talking about some of the truths about living in Miami, but bearing in mind that is literally the tip of the iceberg. There are so many more things about Miami that I want to talk about, but that will probably require an entire series on this channel.